Hey guys, it's the Geek and I'm back on Pokemon Showdown where I have a live replay for you guys today. Now the reason why I'm doing this live replay is because this is going to be kind of a sneak peek of my Nationals team. I think this is the first time that you're actually going to see what 6 Pokemon I used. Now all you're going to be seeing is the team in action. This is just a replay that I quickly got using this team. I think this might have been before I went to Nationals. I don't think this was afterwards because I haven't really been playing much on Pokemon Showdown lately. But I have this replay for you guys, a sneak peek of the team, because Monday the team review on my Nationals team should be going up, while tomorrow we should start that Let's Play I've been talking about. So stay tuned for those. But regardless, we're going to get straight into this replay using my Nationals team. Now as you can see, I'm going to quickly pause because this is the first time you're seeing this team, so it's a lot to take in. I am on the bottom here. I am using Melodic, Thundurus, Kangaskhan, Amoonguss, Landorus T, and Entei. So pretty standard, but at the same time not too standard. You have interesting things like Entei and Melodic, although Melodic has been going up in usage, but you know, they're still pretty unique. So this is a bulky, impish Entei, pretty similar to how most people would run Arcanine, right? The bulky Arcanine. But I felt like running Entei just because I thought it was a really cool Pokemon, and it actually does pretty well. It takes hits extremely well, and I was really happy with how it did at Nationals. I don't bring it to too many games, but the games I did bring it to, I tended to do really well, just because people didn't know what to expect from it. Anyways, and then Landorus T, it's the pretty much standard Choice Scarf 252 set, and then Amoonguss, standard Spore, bulky set. Kangaskhan, this is an Adamant Power-Up Punch Kangaskhan with Protect instead of Fake Out, because I don't like Fake Out for some reason on Kangaskhan. I'm just not a fan. It's a huge target. Protect is just really nice. And this is an offensive Thundurus. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then Milotic is a bulky Milotic. So you will see these sets and more explanation for this team very soon, but now let's see this match against my opponent. Now, I quickly checked over this match before I started this recording, and I realized I did not make the best of plays, yet the team was so good that I was still able to win. So I ended up going for Amoonguss and Kangaskhan as my lead, because I see that Kangaskhan can pretty much destroy the entirety of my opponent's team, and with this lead I know I can destroy my opponent's team. But I was predicting a Fake Out onto Kangaskhan here, and then Lapras to do just like maybe a Freeze Dry into Amoonguss, but I was willing to take it. I really want to Spore this Raichu right here, but he fakes out my Amoonguss. I didn't expect for him to fake out my Amoonguss. I guess it makes sense, and I don't know why I protected Kangaskhan, but this puts me in a terrible position on this next turn because Raichu can Encore my Kangaskhan. I guess I was hoping that he wouldn't Encore me or something, because I decided to protect Amoonguss as he just Encores Kangaskhan, and Kangaskhan can't do anything this turn. He does go for Amoonguss, so nothing really happens this turn other than the fact that I have to double switch this next turn. I really don't want to stay in with these two, not when he's got Encore, and both my Pokemon are going to be stuck into Protect. So I make the double switch, and this is pretty scary because Lapras can destroy the 2 Pokemon I'm about to bring, Lando T and Entei. I just have to hope that he doesn't go for the right move on the right slots, and this is why switching in the right way is really important. As you see, he's about to Freeze Dry my Entei and Thunderbolt it. Now it's okay because I'm bulky, so I'm able to take that Thunderbolt with relative ease, but had I switched Lando T into that spot, it would be dead. Freeze Dry would have KO'd my Lando T. Thunderbolt would have been immune, obviously, but it still would have KO'd my Lando T instead of Entei. Well, for Entei, it only does 50%, or not even 50%, and I have leftovers, so it really I didn't mind it too much. So I decided to just go for the Rock Slide. I want to pop his balloon, so obviously I can't cover EQ, and I don't want to hit my Entei. Plus, it is super effective against Lapras. Lapras is so bulky, though, but it still does nice damage. Now, this is really lucky for me. I honestly was willing to lose Lando T here because I didn't expect it to be too useful in this matchup. So I was expecting him to Freeze Dry my Lando T, but he actually goes for the Icy Wind, which is pretty much just as bad if that Raichu has the Hidden Power Ice, simply because, I'm going to quickly pause here, my Lando T is slow. It's 1 stage down, meaning my Choice Scarf is pretty much useless. So that's not the best position. As you saw, I did go for Snarl with Entei, which is a pretty interesting move I have on my Entei, by the way. It's a really big support set with Sacred Fire and Snarl being really useful for cutting down opponent's attack. But anyways, my Lando T is at -1 speed, which is bad because his Raichu most likely outspeeds, and if he's carrying the Hidden Power Ice, he'd probably go for it, which is pretty scary. Or another thing I assumed was maybe his Lapras has the Ice Shard, or outspeeds after one Icy Wind or something. No, it's not going to outspeed, but it might have the Ice Shard, which I'm pretty scared of. So I decided I have to switch out Lando T. There's no point of keeping him in here. And even though I said he's not really that useful in this matchup, I decided, you know what, I kind of want to keep it for the Intimidate. As you see, he does have Kangaskhan, so Intimidate's going to be pretty useful against that thing. Plus, Superpower can one-shot him if he doesn't have the Lando T to intimidate my Lando T. Oh, kind of a tongue twister there. So he does go for the Ice Shard that I completely expected, and that does relatively nothing to Kangaskhan. As I Sacred Fire's Lapras, don't get a burn. I don't really care about burning Lapras though, and it is a 2-hit KO. Now, had I Sacred Fire the Kangaskhan, it might have been better, because if I burned Kangaskhan, it would have been pretty much over, because his Kangaskhan would have been really crippled. Now, I didn't know what kind of Kangaskhan he was, whether he was the Protect or Fake Out Kangaskhan, but regardless, I decided I don't want to protect with my Kangaskhan because I don't think he's going to keep his Lapras in here, and if he does switch in his Raichu after I'm using Protect, he's going to render my Kangaskhan useless yet again, and I really don't want that to happen. So I decide to do this great play that puts me in a really advantageous position, Power Up punching his Raichu. Not only does it finish off his Raichu, which is really nice, because that Fake Out and Encore support is really annoying, but I do get to +2, which is huge. Sacred Fire obviously just going into the Protect, but I don't mind that. Now, I'm in a really good position. Kangaskhan's at +2, but this next turn I don't do a good play at I guess it wasn't that bad of a play, because no, this is actually a good play this turn, sorry. He does go for the low kick onto Kangaskhan as I Sacred Fire his Kangaskhan and get the burn, which is huge. But yeah, actually, no, this is a good turn. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Hold up. So I live this Shadow Ball, which is really big, of course, because Entei gets to stay in another turn, and my Kangaskhan does not take his low kick, so that low kick might have KO'd depending on what kind of Kangaskhan he was. And not only that, but now he's burned, so I know another low kick won't take me out. This Aegislash is now in Blade form, so I could potentially Sucker Punch it, and I'm in a pretty good position. But this next turn, I do a terrible play. So I honestly didn't really expect his Kangaskhan to either Sucker Punch Entei or even outspeed it. Outspeed my own Kangaskhan is what I meant to say, because what I was trying to do here was Sacred Fire his Aegislash and Sucker Punch his Kangaskhan, because if I outsped, his Kangaskhan would have been dead, and then Sacred Fire would have KO'd his Aegislash, but it didn't work at all. I got nothing off that turn. My Kangaskhan is so low, and now that I know he outspeeds me, his Sucker Punch is going to KO me. I do bring in my Lando T here, though, so we'll see what happens now. So I know this Kangaskhan has Protect, so I could just Superpower it and Protect, but it's kind of an obvious play. But do I really have a choice? Not really, because if he does get rid of my Kangaskhan, I'm in a pretty bad spot. So, but he does just go for the double Protect, so nothing really happens this turn. Although we are in a bad spot because I'm expecting him to just take out my Kangaskhan this turn, and I'm expecting me not to have any chance of coming back in this. So what I do here is really interesting. I protect my Kangaskhan because I don't want him to Sucker Punch it, and if he Sucker Punches it, it fails, and then my Lando T can just U-turn, KO his Kangaskhan, and I still have a Kangaskhan. If his Aegislash attacks my Kangaskhan, that's okay, because I got rid of his Kangaskhan when it couldn't do any damage. His Aegislash is in Blade form, and I went for the U-turn specifically because this is a really interesting thing. I didn't want to be locked into U-turn because I knew Earthquake could pretty much win me the game, because it should finish off that Lapras, which is pretty low, and deal with this Aegislash. So I decided to U-turn here simply so I could bring in my Amoonguss, and then if he got rid of my Kangaskhan, which he actually doesn't end up doing, but if he did, I would have been able to bring in my Lando T again and then just Earthquake. So Amoonguss and Lando T probably would have been able to wrap up the game. But I don't really have to do any of that because he actually just Shadow Balls my Amoonguss, which is nice because Kangaskhan can pretty much wrap up this game. So, not the best game ever. I didn't play too well, but I was able to get myself out of holes by doing some really weird plays. I decided to just protect again. For obvious reasons. He has the Ice Shard that he revealed earlier, and at 11%, I'm pretty sure he's going to pick up the KO. He actually substitutes with Aegislash, but I'm still not worried. This Aegislash I don't think can give him a comeback, and plus now that his Lapras is asleep, I pretty much have this game wrapped up. He decides not to King's Shield to hopefully maybe get an Aegislash comeback, so Sucker Punch will just destroy him at +2 with that Parental Bond, being able to break through the sub and then hit him. So that's pretty much the game, and I actually ended up winning 3-0, even though I really had an easy chance of kind of getting destroyed there, but doing some weird plays ended up giving me the game, as it was a pretty messy game, because I had some misplays, and then I had some really good plays, I guess, although plays I didn't expect to work too much. But anyways, guys, that's a sneak peek of the team. This is kind of a longer replay because I really want to explain this team, because you guys you've never seen this team before, at least when I used it. And so yeah, that's gonna be it. If you're pumped for the review on this team, that'll be up Monday, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe, because I'll continue to post daily. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. But other than that, I gotta go, so goodbye.